Right, next, I'd like to introduce you to the UCSS team. Here, of course, is our fearless leader, Ronald, followed by his brother Timothy, who is such an amazing man and basically runs the show there. He's just amazing. He translates for you, and what an amazing guy and such an asset for UCSS. Next is Derek. I think this is Ronald's nephew, I believe. He's going to be going to Lindsey Wilson College to study and get his undergraduate there, and he is going to be an unbelievable asset. He already is. Amazing guy. And next is Sarah. She heads up the gardens, and she has several direct reports. One is David. He's one of the banana and coffee experts, and the tractor driver who also maintains the tractor. He's also a mechanic. And then followed by Wilson, who maintains the mission house. So that's some of the UCSS staff that we have there. I'll next talk about some of the evangelism and teaching, and they really are leading the transformation in this area. This is an example of one of the permanent small church structures, and I'll tell you, we were there on Sunday, and these people worship like I have never seen before. They'll get up at 7 in the morning. Look at this. Here's Ronald even dancing. Look at that. And they put one of those things around you, and then you have to dance. They were doing that all the time. They got there at 7 in the morning. We got there at 11 a.m. and we were there for an hour. All right. Then it took a break and continued worshiping from 2 p.m. and we got there at 5 p.m. and we were there for an hour, and there was just incessant dancing and praising, and it was just incredible. I mean, look at that. All the kids were there. I have never seen anything such a thing. One thing that struck me was how grateful these people were, how authentic they were, and how thankful they were that God loved them. We did a lot of teaching. These are the kids and the teenagers, and look how attentive these kids are. Our message really was work hard, and the future really is you guys, the youth, and just look how intent they were. I mean, no one fell asleep, no one's laying back, they're leaning forward. Look at these faces. This is an example of a field that's struggling, and it's not necessarily because of the water, but simply the way it's knowledge that's resulting in this. And that's what UCS is trying to do with this model farm right in front of the mission house, which is irrigated and has best practices, and leaders from all over the area come to learn. They have access to the tractor, which does in 2 days what it takes someone to do by hand in 6 months. Here's some children and women working some of our fields. Look at the chicken. The chickens are well. There's a goat. There's some goats rearing happening. And this is an example of a local maize mill. And so we only really saw one of those. And one of the things we're looking for is other ways to drive economic activity. And this is one example of things that we can consider. This is how bricks are made by hand. It doesn't cost any money to do this, but what does cost money is the cement required to build the houses. For this purpose, we acquired this machine to make these interlocking bricks that you see here that do not require cement. And this is the machine that makes that. One thing we wanted to do while we're there is explore other different means of economic development. So we spent several hours at the Uganda Industrial Research Institute, and which provides know-how and training and access to equipment like this weaving equipment here. They actually make the equipment there and show you how to make it and how to make the products. Things like brisket making from banana plants, which are largely discarded, and fruit processing, which is very relevant to the village. We also spent some time at a banana plantation who was exploring grafting these plants to grow not just one but dozens from one plant, which could be a source of income as well. One of the needs we do have, though, is we have fencing around our property. This is an example of one fence we already have up, and irrigation. So again, this is the field that was not properly irrigated, and in contrast we have this field. Look at the variety and how green this field is that is actually irrigated in front of the mission house. So there's we believe a huge need for irrigation. Another form of economic activity that's very exciting was the tailoring classes that you see here. This makes a big difference to these families. Let's give you an example here. These women can make $1.25 per dress that they make. That doesn't include the material, and they can make 2 a day. Now, just to give you an example, the average family here lives on $5 a day, which means they're eating every day, etc. So this is one of these dresses, and so if they make $2.50 a day, they make up to half of that family's income. Listen to one of the ladies that graduated. This woman had just so much pride in her skill. I mean, look at her. And the camaraderie among the women was fantastic. So this is a very small thing that can make a huge difference to each of their families and communities. What we wanted to propose with these women is a microfinance program where we buy the actual sewing machine, which costs about $120 US, and the women then have to contribute 50% of their earnings back to UCSS until the sewing machine is paid off. And we talked about this at some length. There was some concern about repayment, but the women felt that that would be fantastic and would allow them to get their business going.